Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the Infatuasian podcast. Thank you so much for listening and joining us today. You know, one of my favorite things to do when I travel is to go visit whatever museums they have in the city that we're visiting. We just went to New York and DC this past summer, two of our country's best museum towns, in my opinion. But ironically, I don't even go to my own hometown museums that often, and we have some really great ones here in San Francisco. This past week, I was able to go down to visit the Asian Art Museum down in the Civic Center here in San Francisco. And you old-timers out there know that that building that the museum is in was the old main library. Yeah, you got to be an oldie to know that one. It's one of our country's best museums dedicated to Asian art, and right now they have a fantastic new exhibition focused on Korean pop culture called Hallyu, the Korean Wave. It's only here for a little over 3 months, so you don't have a ton of time to get down there, so I highly recommend you get down there because it's a really fun show. I was able to meet up with the museum's Korean art curator, Yoon Jee Choi, who was so generous with her time, and she actually gave me a private VIP curator's tour. I know, how lucky am I? Well, guess what? You're lucky too, because I recorded it, so you can come along and hear Yoon Jee talk about the exhibit. But of course, you know, talking about it is one thing. You got to get down there and see it for yourself. It's a very visual thing. So a podcast is not the best way to go see a museum. But you could have us playing along as you walk through the museum. So that would be cool. So get down there while you can. We talk about the hours that it's open, but it's not here that long. So don't delay. Get down there as soon as possible. All right. So without further ado, let's get down to the Asian Art Museum and meet up with curator Yoon Jee. And as usual, thanks so much for listening. And we are at the Asian Art Museum here in San Francisco. And we're going to be talking about the Hallyu, am I pronouncing that correctly? Mm-hmm. Hallyu exhibit here at the Asian Art Museum. Let me read the description for you. Step into the spectacular world of Korean dramas, music, film, TV, fashion, and beauty. Discover how South Korea reinvented itself as a 21st century pop culture phenomenon. Created by the V&A Museum and touring the world, Hallyu, the Korean Wave, includes nearly 200 objects and artworks that illustrate the limitless flow of creativity powering the world's biggest, fastest-growing contemporary cultural wave from Asia. So we'll talk a lot more about it, and actually I think we're going to walk around downstairs, but I'm here with the curator from the Asian Art Museum. We're here with Yoon Jee Choi. Hey.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for hosting me here.
No problem. We're always welcome to have people at our museum and enjoy arts and culture.
Yeah, actually, and you know, you're talking to your newest member. I just joined today.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
Thanks. No, I'm happy to be a member because I want to bring my family here, and it's such a good deal. It's not even $120, is you know.
I was not aware of the cost, but good to know.
Yeah, no, not too bad. And you can bring in an adult. And I'm thinking, I only work, it only took me about 15 minutes to drive here from work. So I work over by Ghirardelli Square. So right by Polk. If you just go straight up Polk, you hit Galileo High School. So I'm thinking I could come down here and grade papers. You know, maybe.
It's a good place, surrounded by art. It's a great ambiance. So yeah. Welcome to the membership.
Thank you. And, you know, maybe we'll get this out of the way first. I think a lot of people feel when you say, okay, Asian Art Museum, Civic Center, San Francisco, right across from City Hall. Literally, if you walk out the door, you'll see City Hall. They might be thinking, you know, the news reports are telling you how desolate it is down here and how dangerous it is. But, you know, especially during the day, you can walk. Like I'm looking at Yoon Jee. Yoon Jee is not a large person. You don't feel in danger at all when you come down here every day?
That is a perfect way to start this conversation of how I, settled into the Bay Area. So I grew up in Seoul, Korea. I was born here meaning the United States. I was born in Knoxville, Tennessee. Okay. Yeah, I'm a Southern gal. But I went right back to Korea when I was 2. Okay. So I barely remembered anything in spending my time in the States. And then I came back for a PhD program in Chicago. So Chicago is a big city, and spending most of my academic years in Chicago in school, and then moving to the Bay Area, where it's a totally different environment, climate-wise, community-wise. It was an eye-opening experience, but going back to your question about whether I feel safe walking around, I actually got robbed in Oakland. I live in Oakland.
In Oakland.
It was just a broad daylight, Thursday, like 4 p.m., and I was just walking down the street. So I was very much worried about commuting here because I have been also hearing about how unsafe this neighborhood is. And actually, I was more excited when I came here for my final interview in person. I think it was like 2022 autumn, because I was just so excited about, the potential job, like my first real job, and the fact that it's in a wonderful city called San Francisco. So I was not aware of the fact that this neighborhood is something that I should be kind of cautious when walking around. Yeah. But when I came back after experiencing that robbery, I was honestly very concerned about my safety, and my mom just flew all the way here, and she was literally breaking down and crying when she saw me. I understood her concerns, but I also believed that San Francisco is historically a significant hub of culture, and also it has a rich history for immigration of Asians. So I actually believe in the power of time, also history. So the fact that San Francisco has been maintaining that reputation of a beautiful city on the West Coast, I don't know, I just felt really connected to the city. I love that it's right near the Bay. So eventually I feel much safer after working for slightly over a year now. And I have this face. I kind of train myself. Like, I have to have this face when I walk around. Like, don't mess with me. I am not the type of person you would mess with because I'm a petite girl. I think the reason why I got attacked in Oakland is because I was just an easy target. I was just wearing cargo pants, nothing fancy, or I wasn't carrying anything bougie. So, I'm getting used to this. And despite all of that challenges, I love the Bay Area. Yeah, so we came down here. So we actually got invited to the opening gala, which we'll talk about later. I came down with my 12-year-old daughter, and my wife was like, is that going to be safe? Because we were leaving when it was over. We left maybe 8:30 or 9. And my wife was like, oh, is that going to be safe leaving the museum around that time in, Civic Center? But we didn't bump into anyone on the way to our car. We parked maybe a block away on the street. And we didn't even bump into a soul. And it was, a nice night, and it was quiet. And so we want to encourage everyone. You might have seen reports of how San Francisco is turned into this terrible, terrible place. But you could take BART here. BART's right there by Civic Center. So many buses. There's a parking lot across the street if you really want to park. You want to drive down here. So we'll throw that out there first. So don't let the reports fool you. San Francisco's alive and well, and this area is beautiful. This building is beautiful. Real quick, San Francisco. This is I don't know. I came here as a kid. I grew up here, so I came here as a kid for a field trip. I'm sure. When you think of museums, maybe especially the Asian Art Museum, or specifically the Asian Art Museum, it sounds a little old-fashioned, or it sounds like you're going to be looking at vases or tapestries or, two-dimensional paintings and things like that. And no offense, vases are cool.
No, we're not down. No, there's some cool pottery upstairs for sure.
Yes,
for sure. But starting with Murakami, I think and then just the marketing of it, and then this was probably like kind of, you're the Korean art expert coming in here. And then little did you know, you'd be talking about K-pop and K-dramas. So they're really reaching out. And when I went to the Murakami and the Hallyu exhibit, the audience looked pretty young. The audience looked pretty hip. It looked pretty like the shift was already happening. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
I mean, the whole point of this exhibition aims to invite people of different age, different interests to come together through their involvement with Korean arts and culture. And actually, my academic background is covering sort of Pan-Asian craft history, focusing on the late 19th century and the early 20th century when they tried to engage actively with the West. So I'm really interested in trans-regional sort of transmedia interaction. And my major during the undergraduate years was international studies and art history. So that kind of helped me to build the idea of how to connect people through art history. And yeah, I think this show truly resonates with my vision.
Yeah, that's very cool. And we'll get down there in a second. But real quick, I wanted to talk about your journey a little bit. Were you an artistic kid? Like, did you like going to museums as a kid, or how did you get into this at all? Art history at all?
Ooh, I honestly did not expect this question, but it's a good question because, again. The way how I was involved in art history was the way how I loved art and how I enjoyed time making art and enjoying art with my friends and families. So I grew up in Korea, and there was this small box that my mom made to carry recycle materials that she would just eventually throw out on a certain day on a weekly basis. But I just loved rummaging through those recycling bins and make my own artwork.
Upcycling,
yeah. And then I was leading the trend, and then. I just loved making things. My mom is actually a pianist, and she knew how tough it is to survive as an artist. So she was very, she just she didn't really want me to become an artist and make a living out of that. So I was like, okay, Mom, then maybe I should just study hard. Once I enter into sort of my adult years, I explored arts in general, meaning that I worked as a part-time volunteer for performance or those music festivals, all kinds of, or also worked as a museum docent. Okay. And then I realized I really want to dig deeper into the phenomena, sort of the anthropological, historical phenomenon created through art, like what other people feel about art and how that, inspired people from different culture to create another culture that's so unique and hybrid. So that was sort of my journey. I still love drawing and making things and craft during my free time, and also knitting. So yeah, I enjoy art and also appreciating art as well.
All right, for those out there, including myself, what does a curator actually do?
Yeah. And that's what you know what? My mom even asked me the question, like, what's the difference between docent and a curator? And then she's like, why are you always so busy? Like, she's just asking out of curiosity. She's very supportive, but she's always curious about what curators do. I think sort of to give you an official answer, it's to plan out exhibitions, come up with exhibition ideas, meaning choosing the appropriate objects and narratives that would appeal to the audience. And based on that exhibition, they would create events and programs, symposiums that are both academic and engaging with the public. Practically speaking, I think an important skill set, those of you out there who want to become a curator, the way how you engage with people and building that relationship to create meaningful contents or even engaging with our donors. Curators should have a really good skill set to engage with people. And I think that does not only mean that making friends or just being good at small talk, but my vision as an engaging curator is to build that relationship. I love how, again, time and history, sort of that accumulation of effort and bonding is so important for me. And exhibition, program, all of them, I feel the utmost joy when I turn that relationship into a creative content to create another meaningful bonding with people. So those are some of the things that I originally thought of what curators do and what I really do. And it's a really good combination of working with books and with people.
Yeah. All right. So Hallyu, do you remember personally the first time you thought about the Korean wave?
I think just at the top of my head, I have two sort of anecdotes. One is when I came here for my PhD, I was just walking in Target with my mom to purchase some of the things for my new dwelling. And
So this is like 2019, 2020?
2018.
2018, okay.
Yeah. So, and we were walking around and I heard this very familiar song coming out of Target, and it was BTS song.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe my ears.
Right.
Because as I explained earlier, when I was here during my elementary years, people would ask me whether I'm from South or North, but now they ask me which group I like in K-pop, and they know more about me.
Yeah.
In comparison to the days where I watched rental videos at my aunt's house in K-Town, Atlanta.
Sure,
Now it's more accessible to watch just within several clicks on Netflix or other OTT services. So that's one sort of moment I felt, okay, Hallyu is becoming global. It's not a lie. I've never believed it when I was in Korea. Maybe it's something that very nationalistic, being proud of our, which is good, but I couldn't fully believe how people were engaged in this culture.
Totally bonkers over.
It's like, oh my God. Yeah. And then I think it was 2022. Was it 2022? 2022 or 2021? I went to my first ever K-pop concert in the States. I dared not, I've not imagined myself booking a ticket in Korea for a K-pop concert. It's so competitive.
Yeah.
And I had the moments being a fangirl for a couple of groups, but this was my first time actually voluntarily going to. And I went there with my friend who's non-Korean, but we wanted to make a special memory after turning in our, exams and whatnot. And then it was in Chicago. It was actually Be the Sun tour of 17. And then I was genuinely so surprised to see how diverse the audience is. And they just initiated the conversation. We don't know each other. We just met. And they started the conversation of asking, who's your bias? Why do you like this girl? What's your favorite episode of Going 17? That moment inspired me to think, okay, this is not a phase, but something that I could dig deeper and kind of study the motivation and power behind, sort of the driving force behind this culture. So when I had the final interview, the museum asked me a lot about how to blend pop culture and fine arts. Believe me, this is before they signed the contract to bring the show here.
Oh, really?
So they already had a vision to
they were riding the wave.
They were surfing the wave. And then so I talked a lot about the ideas that I would potentially work with idols like 17. And they're they're very multifaceted, I would put this way. They're entertainers. They're very different from like conventional singers that would just simply perform on stage and produce songs and provide good performances. I think they also have to take good selfies. There's so many skill sets that are required.
Charming on demand.
Right. And they also have to internalize what they're specializing in. Like they have different roles even within groups.
The group, yeah.
So I think I'm still learning about the culture, both through my own research, but also engaging with the Bay Area fandoms.
Yeah, no, it is a total phenomenon. It is pretty great. I mean, I remember I was just driving down the road, probably the similar time, 2018 or 2019 or so, driving down the road and hearing BTS on like a local radio station, not an international station, but just a local station. And they were singing half in Korean, half in English, and just thinking like, what is this? What is going on, you know? And I didn't totally get it, but then, to see when you go to these concerts, it's mixed, and there's mixed ages, there's mixed races, of course. But and then the enthusiasm and the loyalty, it's pretty great. It's pretty great. But just taking a step back, what is the actual definition of Hallyu?
So Hallyu, as our exhibition title manifests, literally translated as the Korean wave, refers to the global trend of South Korean pop culture, which begins from around the late 1990s. So Hallyu started from the enthusiasm over K-dramas in both Japan and China. So in China, in the 1990s, there was a K-drama titled What is Love? And that gained so much popularity in China, sort of appealing to the family value. On the other hand, in Japan, there was a drama in the early 2000s called Winter Sonata. It's part of our show, and it's a love story surrounded by the Winter Wonderland. But the actors and actress, the protagonists, became very popular in Japan. And that spark within Northeast Asia expanded throughout the 2000s. And then I think the most pivotal moment of global spread of Korean pop culture is when Psy's Gangnam Style music video was released in 2012. So after that music video, I think Koreans have been receiving, whenever they go to foreign countries, like, I know Gangnam Style, and they want to directly connect with Koreans, which is a really fun experience. And then I think the K-pop industry, in tandem with K-dramas provided through OTT, actually COVID played a pretty meaningful role.
The timing of like Crash Landing on You with the pandemic, I think that was a gateway.
Exactly.
And we're all stuck inside, right? Yeah, I agree. I agree. Now, I'm proud to say I was a little before that time. I was already on board.
It's never too late. Never too late.
Yeah, no, that's when like friends who I would never even imagine would watch K-dramas would say, oh, have you seen this? And I'm like, wait, you watched that?
Right.
Yeah, so that was really a phenomenon. And then I think hand in hand, then you have the K-beauty products coming in, and food, of course.
Yes.
You know, food has always been a lot of people's favorite part of Asian culture would be food. And so Korean corn dogs and Korean barbecue and fried chicken. Oh, man. So it's coming. I mean, it's here. It's
great.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're ready.
Really?
To go downstairs. What do you think?
Okay. Well,
first of all, I want to say, hey, huge congrats on the opening. Thanks for inviting me. I know I bumped into you, and you were very kind, but you also looked a little overwhelmed this week.
Honestly, I was, because I mean, it's overwhelmed with joy and a little exhaustion.
There's a lot
I've been working
on.
a lot full time, and then I was so happy to see a lot of people entering into our museum, and the hard work really paid off.
Yes.
So it was an overwhelm by joy.
But in
kind
a
of
good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I mean, so I brought my daughter, and she was like, "What is this thing?" I was like, "You guys gotta go." And so, but she watches drama, she listens to music.
She's
and
a
then
Twice fan.
She's a Twice fan.
I remember that.
No, she's got a lot of different groups that she likes, but just the culture. And then we had free food. She's like, "Oh, is this?" So everyone out there, if you're ever invited to an opening night gala, you have to say yes. You just
opening night is fun.
Yeah, so we had free food, we had karaoke, we had a nail art demonstration. It was a good night. It was full of people. Like I said, all different ages, and these are members and whatnot. So I wasn't sure if you had to come in, suit and tie or evening gowns. A few people were dressed up, which is cool. But yeah, a lot of people dressed up in K-pop stuff. It was very cool. So this exhibit is open to the public. Generally, you guys are Thursday through Monday.
Yes, we are. Yes.
And usually open until 5, but then on Thursdays open till 8. Which is very cool. Free on every first Sunday, but it's only so you may not know this, but only $20.
Oh,
that's not bad.
That is not bad.
There's a lot of museums in the city, looking at you, Exploratorium or Cal Academy is like 30 something bucks. Just so a family of 4 is over 100, but you could get in. Kids under 12 are free.
Right.
Kids 13 to 17 are $14. So yeah, it's definitely affordable. It's easy to get to.
Right.
If you have anyone that likes K-dramas or K-pop, you got to get down here to see this exhibit. Here only until
January 6th.
January 6th. So perfect for the holiday season.
Yeah.
On a rainy day.
Yeah.
Come on down to the Asian Art Museum.
Yeah. And we also have a lot of events coming up, including the day after tomorrow. We have over 20 new startup brands from Korea.
Oh, wow.
Beauty, vegan food, even Kit album, which is one of the new types of appreciating music. It's a K-pop album. So we have that activation, and also Korean celebrity coming.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good thing I'm a member, so I can just drop by. So yeah, everyone out there, no excuse not to get down here. You can get in for free if you want, but it's still reasonable on those days that you want. And if you have work, come here on a Thursday. Yeah. Come after work. There's cafe and the gift shop that I found out you don't even have to pay to get in to go to the cafe or the gift shop, but you gotta see the museum too while you're here. and let's not forget the other exhibits. Like you have the Hallyu downstairs, but then there's so many other legendary works. There's the Rhino, the real famous Rhino Bowl upstairs, and just lots of good stuff. So come on down to the Asian Art Museum. All right, you ready to go downstairs?
Yep.
All right. So we're actually on the floor of the museum. So we are, right now I'm looking at some webtoon screens. And then if you keep walking here, you want to walk us through here a little bit? So
yes. Well, I think I wanted to create an agora space and a sort of immersive encyclopedia. That's how I would encapsulate this space. So each section, we have 4 sections in total, but each section has different focus of engagement with our audience. And this section is to provide a new insight into K-dramas and K-films from the perspective that a lot of people consider Korean dramas to have a very singular plot line or scenario. But as you can see at a glance from this space, there are so many plots and visual elements, stories, also inspired by both tradition and new ways of delivering the narrative. So I think this space wants to create a holistic experience of the refined and artistry, professionalism embedded in the Korean popular industry.
Yeah, that's very cool. So you have stuff from dramas that people might have seen.
Right.
We have
Crash Landing on
Crash
You.
Landing on You. Well, what are these shoes? These shoes are
These shoes are from the K-drama called My Love from the Star. And this pair of Jimmy Choo high heels were worn by the female protagonist Jeon Ji-hyun. She's a very well-established Korean actress. And I think this piece connotes how the products or the items that are promoted through these media, create another layer of content and engagement with the larger audience.
Yeah, so we have several dramas represented here. Actual costumes worn by the actors and actresses. I think you were saying that's from Kingdom.
Yes.
The zombie, the Joseon era zombie. Like, it sounds crazy, but give it a watch, people. It is one of the best K-dramas out there.
Right.
We have Squid Game outfits right here worn by the actors. So these are actual Squid Game costumes. And there's interactive experiences here as well.
Right. So once you come to our section 2, you will be able to see this big installation of Squid Game costumes. Once you stand in front of there's a little mark on the floor where you can stand and become the front man and then control the guards on the screen. So it's an interactive experience using the technology and sort of reminding people of the experience their first time watching Squid Game.
Yeah. No, I was kind of cool because I heard you tell us that when we did our little guided tour, and then there was someone here and they didn't know what to do, and I told them how to do it.
That's great.
They were like, "How do you know this?" I was like, "Well, I had the guided tour." And then we can't walk past this. This is one of my favorite parts of the exhibit. Is a exact or as close as possible replica of the Parasite bathroom.
So this recreation of the Parasite bathroom set is traveling from the V&A. So the actual set designer traveled from the UK. And I think the most important priority for me in displaying this installation is to highlight the details that the director Bong wanted to deliver to the global audience. If you come inside this space, there are so many details that reflect the social messages and hierarchy, or even the larger scope of Korean society. I think all of these elements play a significant role to creating that strong storyline of the movie Parasite. And I believe that has become the driving force for this Korean popular cultural content to become more appealing to the international audience. On top of this display, which is visual, we added a music element. I directly contacted the music director Jeong Jae-il. He's actually the same director who composed a song for the Squid Game.
Oh wow, okay.
So I had to choose between the two. But I think this music directly brings people to the moment they saw the movie for the first time, and it's a really unique plot.
It is. And it's shocking and disturbing. But you can't take. It's like one of those things you just can't take your eyes off of it.
I saw this in the theater, and it was mind blowing.
Yeah, really mind. And Academy Award winning.
Oh yes.
One of the first Asian film to ever win the Best Picture award. So so you have a little area over here for cinema with the director's chair. So you can just pull up a chair.
Oh yeah.
You can. There's projections on the wall that you can watch a little bit here. But then moving through here, so we're getting out of dramas into K-pop.
So the next section is K-pop, which is greeted by the costume worn by Psy in his movie Gangnam Style. And you can see him as mannequin dancing to the very famous horse riding move.
So actual suit worn by him. That's very cool. And I like this. I think you mentioned this. You actually have the barricades up.
Yes.
As if we were at a concert.
I know
Front
it
row.
costs. huge amount of money to stand in front of these barricades, but just to encourage people to have the glimpse of what it's like to be at a K-pop concert.
Yeah.
Again, immersive experience.
Yeah. And I'm looking at some costumes by one of my daughter's favorite groups, aespa. Coming in January in Oakland, California. But you can see that some of these girls not that tall.
Yeah, they're pretty petite.
Yeah.
And these are all actual costumes
that
worn
they wore
by
for the video
performers.
Yeah.
And the very fun thing about this exhibit is that these costumes that are displayed on a stage-like podium, you can see the music video that matches the costumes. So it's just fun to see how these costumes are actually used for the music videos.
Yeah.
So it just creates a whole new vibe for people to enjoy K-pop.
Yeah. That's great. And we're kind of speed running here. You can definitely go slower than we're going because there's a lot to look at. You have costumes from G-Dragon. And who's the...
ATs.
ATs over there. So these are really cool. And just the detail on them is amazing. And the fact that they have to be able to move in these as well. It's pretty cool. Definitely poke around in here. Don't speed run it like we're doing right now. Take your time and explore. Is there anything in here that we kind of just glossed over that is a secret thing that you think that people should definitely look out for?
Oh, one thing is in the K-drama and film section. So the case or the display where the kingdom hats are, right next to that display, we have sort of the green traditional pattern in the background. That is actually a recreation of our own collection, which is the Joseon Dynasty grapevine screen. And we patternized that to be part of our show. So, although this is on pop culture, we explored, sort of experimented a lot how to bring the traditional elements more accessible to our newer audience. So that's a little, kind of Easter egg sneak peek into the curatorial tour.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Have you, so it's been a couple weeks now. Are you starting to see, what kind of audiences, what kind of members what kind of folks are coming through the Hallyu exhibit?
I think it's a very diverse group of people, and as much as our catchphrase for marketing was to enjoy everyone to Hallyu culture from different entry points, I think it's actually working. I felt that especially in engaging when I had the Dosen tour for the first time to our donors, because they're actually the ones who are more drawn to sort of the traditional artworks. They're used to that when they come to the museum. So I was honestly a little concerned about what if they're not drawn to this popular culture. But the moment they came into this gallery and when I saw them smiling, having fun in Shriram, learning the dance moves, I was so happy that our collective goal as a museum to invite different people from different entry points to enjoy Hallyu culture actually worked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. All right, now we're going to pass through the Hall of Light Sticks.
Yes. Our whole team worked really hard to create this venue because a lot of the people asked, how exactly does light sticks work in K-pop? Why is it so unique to K-pop culture? Yeah. So we added this panel to have a brief introduction to the light sticks and focused on adding a lot of variety. I know that the space is limited and it's not specifically a show on K-pop, but we wanted to host as much diverse K-pop bands as possible. Yeah. Even the text that flow next to our panel in section 3, those are the new K-pop bands that debuted within the recent 2 years. Yeah. So those are some of the efforts that we made to be very inclusive.
Okay, so we're now, I guess this is kind of the last stop of the tour. If you follow the footsteps on the ground, I think it'll lead you here.
Yes.
And where are we now? We're in
the Sri Ram Gallery.
Gallery, and it is a learn the K-pop move spot. So what happens in here?
So Google Arts and Culture and the Victoria and Albert Museum, who's the original content creator for this show, designed a interactive display of a technology teaching you how to dance to this size piece. And then there are different levels of learning the dance moves. So even though you're not really accustomed to K-pop dance moves, you're more than welcome to join.
Okay.
Once you learn those moves, there's a camera that will record your moves and then display them onto a separate larger wall. And you
With backup dancers and...
Those are actually not backup dancers. Those are other people who came to the museum.
Okay.
So it's a wonderful wrap up of the entire exhibition to highlight that everyone can enjoy Hallyu. So I hear the most laughter in this space.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And people taking photos. I think there's a new way of cherishing and remembering museum experience, on top of going to museum shop. It's taking a lot of photos. And I think this contributes to that new way.
Yeah. I mean, everything here is Instagrammable.
Oh, yeah,
There's so many photo walls you can take here.
I'm trying to find the best selfie spot throughout the exhibition so that I can, explain take a photo here.
Well, you're standing in front of one right now.
Yeah.
This is the Seoul subway.
It's a recreation of the future city of Seoul. So
great.
That theme just runs through the entire show.
This is going to be fun. So if you come down here, bring a friend, bring family, get ready to dance, get ready to take selfies, get ready to reminisce on maybe some dramas or songs that you remember that you love. It's going to be super fun. So thanks for the tour.
Thank you.
And we have one last section. It's called the lightning round.
Oh.
So we're going to ask you some quick fire questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
Am I supposed to be scared?
No, I make it sound like it's really scary though.
Okay.
All right. What's your favorite K-drama of all time?
K-drama. Wow. I have the habit of watching the same drama over and over again. I'm that type of person. There is a drama that's called The Worlds Within.
Oh.
It stars Song Hye-kyo
Okay.
and Hyun-bin, who is the main actor on Crash Landing on You. That drama actually motivated me to study hard during my high school days to become a K-drama producer.
Really?
And hear me out. I actually bought the scenario books, the whole script and the CD-ROM. I was that fanatic about it. It is a really interesting story of what's happening inside the Korean Broadcasting Center when they're producing dramas. So it's sort of a peep behind the scene, but also talks about how lively the environment is. That's my favorite drama.
Nice. Yeah, no, I live with a couple of people that can watch the same drama over and over. And I'm like, can we watch something new? There's so many new ones.
Yeah, why are you like this? Yeah, that's me.
It's their comfort zone. And you know what it is too, is they don't have to concentrate on the subtitles because we don't speak Korean. So they can just kind of have it in the background and they know what's happening.
It's like an ASMR.
Yeah, yes. So they have it in the background. All right. Second question, another hard one. Who's your alt bias on like K-pop groups?
It's not difficult at all.
Oh, it's easy. This is like
yes. I know there is a bias and bias wrecker. My all-time favorite. Yes. My bias is Mingyu from 17.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess the most interesting aspect of 17 is that they, from a Korean perspective, they create songs that are very that represents the intrinsic characteristics of Korean culture and what we experience on a everyday basis. At the same time, they're hilarious. I love how they enjoy the humor and their collaboration as a group and team. I think Mingyu plays a pretty significant role in bringing that healthy vibe within the team. And there is an app called, I forgot the name, I think Mindset. And they have several episodes of 17 members talking about their mental health and how they, deal with these mentality as a pop star.
Yeah.
And I really like the way how he portrayed his engagement with fans in the industry.
Yeah.
So I think fandom culture is very expansive and it's different to each person, but engaging with stuff, going to 17 concert and studying about the group actually got me a job.
Yeah, right.
And also, providing me with creative ideas. And who knows, I might work with them in the future.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll show up. Maybe they'll do a tour.
They're coming soon.
You can give them a personal tour.
Yeah.
All right, now this one's going to be hard. You can only choose one. The other one is just not available to you for like a whole year.
Wow.
All right, K-drama or K-pop?
Oh.
You can only have one.
Only have one. I would say K-pop.
Okay, all right. This one is going to be, this might be easier. K-fashion or K-beauty?
Wow. K-beauty.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, you're willing to wear clothes from wherever, but K-beauty is special.
They just have really good ingredients at a reasonable price. That's, in a nutshell, that's how I would describe Korean.
Does your mom bring some over whenever she comes in and bring a whole suitcase full for you?
I ask her to bring some, but nowadays we have so many channels to purchase Korean cosmetics, and we've recently had a interesting Korean gift wrapping event with Seolhwasu. They've been invested in nurturing Korean traditional culture with the Korean beauty. So they've been doing an amazing marketing here.
Yeah. And then our last question is our signature question, which is, who is your infatuasian? Infatuasian is anyone in the Asian community that you admire. Could be living or deceased. Could be someone that you know or someone that you admire from afar. So who is your infatuasian?
Wow. I actually had the utmost blessing to meet with this artist. His name is Liu Fan. He is one of the...
He's a painter or
He is a painter, and also he covers sculptures, all kinds of art, but mostly paintings and sculptures and installation art. I met with him a couple of months ago. It was one of my dreams to meet with him, and I was able to translate his works for a workshop. The way how he puts himself as a contemporary artist, a responsible contemporary artist, discussing arcane matters and social issues through his lens as an artist, and trying to decode them, very sensitive and contentious issues through his peaceful and beautiful artworks, is something that I admire. At the same time, the more I talk with him, I could see his minimal and simple artworks is an outcome of his layers of thoughts that he has been invested into the society and the history that he's been living. So I would say Liu Fan is my infatuation.
All right. And who knows? Maybe we'll see some of his work someday. Maybe even here at the Asian Art Museum.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this runs through, so we are at Hallyu. It's going to run through January 6th, 2025. So that's not a lot of time. So make some plans to come down here, especially if you want to save a buck and do the free Sunday. But like we said before, it's not expensive. You can afford it. You can come down here, have a lunch. You can just make a day out of it, come into San Francisco. You're not going to get mugged. It's going to be safe. Come down here on one of these days. And if you can't make it during the day, come on a Thursday and stay for dinner. And like you said, what's your favorite item at the Asian box?
Ooh, we just have the special menu set up for the Hallyu exhibition. There's a fried chicken rice and kimchi fried rice. Kimchi, I like standard menus. Kimchi fried rice, it's
It's got to
Pretty
be on.
good.
Yeah. It's kind of basic, but also really just really
basic
good.
is always the best option.
All right. I think that does it for our episode. Thank you so much for giving
Thank
me the
you.
VIP tour. Can people get tours if they come down here of the Hallyu?
We provide regular Dosen tours.
Okay.
So, yes, tours are available. Sometimes we have curatorial-led tours, but Dosen tours are as amazing as curatorial tours. So,
but it's super walkable. You can do it yourself. You don't have to have a tour. You can do it yourself. Spend an afternoon. Get upstairs, and there's a nice little outdoor patio. The staircase
and the Korean gallery.
Korean gallery upstairs. Yeah, and all the other just what do you call the things that are always here? Those are the
rotation and permanent collection.
The permanent collection is upstairs. Yeah. So definitely spend a whole afternoon here. Get some sun out on the patio. Just enjoy the staircase when you walk up there. Take some selfies on the staircase is a must do. Just spend a whole day down here when you get a chance.
The perks of living in the Bay Area.
Yeah, see,
have the Asian Art Museum.
You're paying super high rent or you're spending a lot of money to live here. You may as well take advantage of all that San Francisco has to offer.
Yeah.
So get down here, everyone. And so I think that's going to do it for us. So you know where to write to us. If you want to write to us, you can write to us at infatuasianpodcast@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook. If you want to follow the museum, it is at
Asian Art Museum.
Easy to remember. So Asian Art Museum on Instagram. Go check it out. There's lots of good things to see down here. And there's also a website, of course, where you can become a member like me. Get that on the website. But lots of good stuff. And then you can also keep up with the special events that are happening down here too. All right. So everyone out there, on behalf of Yoon Jee and myself, we hope that you're all happy, healthy, and safe out there. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.